Hey guys, welcome back to Let Me Tell You About Podcast. Jeremy Jacobowitz. I am your host, Jeremy Jacobowitz, and this week I'm talking about a subject that you guys actually wanted, suggested. It is how I solo travel. So I'm going to go through all my tips, tricks, and strategies about how I plan it, I do it, when I'm on the ground, what's happening, how I do it, everything you guys want to know. Plus restaurant news on a new sister restaurant to Fish Cheeks, a breakfast pita I need, a few collab dishes that are basically dream bites. And of course, what I'm into this week. And don't forget, Only For You merch is still on sale. This exclusive newsletter code, JAN12, for 12% off everything on jeremyjshop.com. Egg salad Sando shirts. There's a new Let Me Tell You Why shirt, New York Pizza Bagel shirt, cruise, sweatshirts, beanies, mugs, stickers, anything you guys want is on jeremyjshop.com. And as always, all orders over $75 have free shipping. Basically losing money on this, but it's okay. And since you're here, since you're listening, since you're watching, why can't I speak this morning? Remember to like and subscribe, especially because this is a brand new YouTube channel I started for the podcast. We went away from the main channel, doing something a little bit different. So if you can like and subscribe there, that'd be great. But if you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, anywhere, it's really, really helpful. Leave 5-star reviews, comment, all those things. Share the podcast. That'd be great too. All those things. This is a passion project for you guys. So, usually, I always want you guys to like, comment, and share on all my stuff, but a little bit extra for these videos. But before we get into the main topic, let's get into some restaurant news. Shifka has just launched breakfast. I'd gone there a few months ago when they opened, and I was like, damn, these pizzas are so good. And launching breakfast I'm good at that. So every Friday to Sunday, 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., you can get, they got 4 things here. A bacon and cheese barreca. It's the flaky golden brown barreca is stuffed with bacon, eggs, and cheese and topped with everything seasoning. They are doing a latke egg and cheese pita. I mean, this is literally just a dream. That's latke, lox, eggs, and scallion cream cheese. Oh my God, it sounds so fucking good, Jesus. They have a Tunisian sandwich. This is just, they really created this menu just for me. A crispy malawak is filled with tuna, harissa, preserved lemon, olives, and a jammy soft eggs before being rolled and cut into a perfect handheld bite. My God. And they have shakshuka, which sounds great. Ricotta salata in there, a little savory to finish, serves the pita. There's an option to add a merguez sausage or grilled halloumi as well. Carrot Express has brought back an original menu item. They're pita melts. They have 3 of them on the menu. This tuna one sounds amazing. Tuna salad, pita melt, homemade tuna salad, shredded carrots, tomatoes, and melted mozzarella cheese just like oozing out of the pita. They have a shroom veggie pita, which is roasted cremini mushrooms, roasted tomatoes, corn, basmati rice, snap of cabbage, bean sprouts, feta, cheese, cilantro, pesto, and melted mozzarella. Ooh, that one has a jalapeno aioli also. And then a chicken salad pita melt. It's chicken salad, shredded carrots, tomatoes, and melted mozzarella. I've said this before, and I'll say this again. Carrot Express, I need you in Williamsburg. This is like a quick lunch option, and you have a bunch of, there are locations everywhere, but in New York City, I think there are 3 locations now. But I need you in Williamsburg. I'll eat you every day. Bubba Barreca has a new collab that will be available January 24th and 25th only. They've teamed with Taqueria Ramirez to make the cactus barreca, which is filled with pan-fried Mexican cactus, cooked with onions, garlic, guajillo chile, and cotija cheese. And that's served with a spicy salsa roja, salsa verde, fresh radishes, and a mix of pickled onions, jalapenos, and carrots. I'm telling you, I'm literally sitting here drooling. Like this week's restaurant news is literally just like what Jeremy wants and needs. Speaking of that, Little Cheeks is the new takeout and delivery sister concept from Fish Cheeks. This is, oh my God, I'm so excited. This is Williamsburg. Like, we have some good Thai places, but I will take more when we can. And it's available from the Soho location too. Think pad ki mao, pad thai shrimp, curries, soups, wings, and even Thai coffee to go. I'll be having some of that. Mimi Chang's has partnered with Katz's Deli for their special dumpling of the month, introducing the pastrami dumpling, which will be available until January 31st. It is filled with Katz's pastrami, Swiss cheese, house-cured sauerkraut, wrapped in Mimi Chang's dumpling, and pan-fried to order. And now it'll be served alongside Katz's owner Jake Dell's special sauce. And finally, Papa D'Amour from Chef Dominic Ansel is launching salt bread bagels on January 22nd. These have a salty and buttery crust coming from these crunchy salt flakes, which are baked onto the outside. And it comes with a fromage dauphinois, which is a cheese spread made with double cream French cheese, mascarpone, and cream cheese. Jesus. Sounds so good. All right, let's get into what you may have missed. So here are just a bunch of videos and things that I did the past few weeks that I think you guys should check out, just in case you missed it, as the title implies. If you haven't noticed, it was National Bagel Day this month, and I launched a special bagel at Tompkins Square Bagels called the Jeremy. I think this is the 6th time ever they have put someone's order on the menu, so it is a huge honor. And the Jeremy is the bagel perfected. We're talking egg everything, scallion cream cheese, avocado, and lox. And it's the only bagel in New York City you're not allowed to toast. If you go to Tompkins Square Bagels and you say, hi, I would like to get the Jeremy toasted, they will tell you no. This bagel is supposed to only be on the menu for the month, but we'll see how it does. So if you want to go get it now. And it's funny, people were like, on Facebook, someone was like accusing me, like, you said you didn't get paid by restaurants and now you're getting paid. I make no money off of this. It's just just doing it because I thought it was really fucking cool and I thought you guys would love it. And Tompkins Square Bagels is an iconic part of New York City. And to get my order on the menu there is super fucking cool. And that's literally the only reason. That's it. I went back to Three Decker Diner. I would actually love your feedback on this video. So I've been trying to, YouTube is always like the bane of my existence of like trying to figure out how to like make it work. And this week my approach, because as I'm preparing for my Japan and Korea trip, which we'll get into in a minute, I was thinking like, how do I make these videos bigger and better? And I just like was doing so much research. Like, how do I get people to watch these videos? I'm trying something old but new, doing a little more vloggy style. So that if you've been watching on YouTube, there's a lot of added substance there, a lot of more fun things there. And one of the first videos I did that with was Three Decker Diner. Just sort of like bring you into my life a little bit more while also going to get amazing food and talking about the restaurants, doing all the fun stuff too. And the first one was this Three Decker Diner video, sort of like a love letter to diners. I love Three Decker Diner. I had to go get blood work and I needed a special breakfast after because I couldn't eat or drink before that. And Three Decker just is like, we need more of that. So the Three Decker Diner video is everywhere, but specifically the vlog is on YouTube. So super appreciate to check that one out. I went to Sailor, which is an April Bloomfield Fort Greene gem. Any April Bloomfield restaurant, you got to get the burger. And the burger, I could see the burger being divisive, but it was very big. It's a big, thick boy burger. But it has these like, would they just like cook down onions, caramelized onions, whatever you want to call them. But they were like actually like pretty sweet, which I think balanced really well with that burger. But I could see people being a little put off by it. So really interesting, great burger. The croque madame, croque monsieur was absolutely unbelievable. I have to get back for the French toast. I was on Bobby Flay's Bobby on the Beat, his new podcast YouTube show where he quizzed me. So you only saw on the episode, if you watched it or you're going to watch it after you watch this, so listen to this. I don't know if I got a fair shake. He asked me like 40 questions and only like a dozen of them ended up online. And I think that like, you guys don't get it. When like you're on camera and you're at question 30 and you have horrible ADD, your brain starts breaking. And there are things that I got wrong that I knew there's things that I got wrong I got wrong. I could admit that. But there are things that I got wrong that are certainly new. So don't judge me too hard, but I had a fucking blast. It was really fun. I've been watching his podcast every week. Usually has like one main interview and all his like little sides segments. So go check that out. And then the last video was with Others. With Others is a wine bar here in Williamsburg, one of my favorite places. It is on my first date guide. If you want to check that out, that is on Substack. But they've been doing like lots of pop-up dinners since they opened, but they finally have like a full-time legit menu. So I went in for dinner and it was just like lovely. It was just like a lovely, 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 such good dinner. Pastas, an insane salad, great little bites, like everything really like you go there and just get some small bites if you just want some wine. You could legitimately go there and have like a great dinner. I framed it as the perfect dinner for your platonic girlfriend. I brought Alexa, who's been on this podcast before. And I was like, oh, this is funny. Like, obviously it's a dinner restaurant you could bring anyone to. But I was like, well, what a cute idea. We're like, it was on my first date guide, and clearly it's a great first date, second date spot, third date spot, whatever. But it's a great spot just to bring your friends also. So go check all those out. Okay, so let's talk about the main topic this week, which is how do I solo travel? And I thought about this topic for a few reasons. One, you guys have been asking for it. Two, I am about to go solo travel. Again, I'm going to put this podcast out early Monday morning because I leave Tuesday morning to go back to Japan and Korea. My 5th time in Japan, my 3rd time in Korea. And, I think I want to say this. I think that there's like, as a 6'4" white man, there are things that I don't have to deal with when I solo travel that other people do. So, take everything I say with a grain of salt, I guess. I'm just privileged enough to not have to worry about some things. But let's get into it. Let's sort of talk about like how my pre-plan and then what actually happens when I'm there. So, listen, I think a lot of people are worried about solo traveling. I think they're just like worried about being alone. I thrive off being alone. So in terms of that, like I'm not really that concerned, I guess. And I think about, my trips they're fun. I'm going to have a blast. They're also work. So like, obviously I've traveled with people before and I've traveled a lot solo. And while it's nice sometimes to have someone with you, the way I travel, like, isn't the way most people have to travel. Like I was saying this to my friend the other day, sorry, I already jumped ahead. So I'll get back to this in one second. So as I'm planning to travel, these are my steps. I'm constantly saving things to Instagram folders of restaurants. So if I see a video pop up or a friend sends me a video or whatever, it goes into the folder. So I'm going to Sapporo for the first time. So I have a folder on my Instagram, Sapporo. So just no matter what, even if it's a city I never think I'm going to get to, if a restaurant looks good, I will save it because with my life, I don't know. I don't know if I'll get there or not. So who knows? So when it's official that I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to the city, I do a few things. The first thing I do is I'm looking at flights and hotels, and I am lucky enough where I'm flexible, where I could try and adjust my days here and there to try and get the cheapest deal. Because even like a 1 or 2 day difference could save you thousands of dollars on flights and hotels. So I start looking at flights first, mostly just because like I'm probably going to try and book Delta just because like I'm a Delta boy and I want all my Delta points and everything. So look at flights first that way, and then I'll look at hotels. And I'm not that big of like a hotel person. I want to be in a place I could get everywhere easily. I want to be somewhat comfortable, and I want to be safe enough, I guess. So I really try and book like hotel names that I know and trust and not just like super random. I travel with a lot of gear. It would make me if I'm in a place where I'm nervous that like something could happen to my stuff. I don't want that. And I'm mostly traveling to big cities, and in some big city, I'll find something, or I'll do enough research to make sure that even if I've never heard that name of the hotel, it's legit enough. And then I start there. And what I'll do sometimes is like on a longer trip. So like what I'm doing in Tokyo is one night in Tokyo, I'm staying at the Gracery Ginza, which is where I stayed last time. Very, very small rooms. They're fine. The rest of my time in Tokyo, I used my Amex points and I booked the Edition, which is going to be super nice. Just like, as much as I don't need a big hotel stuff, like sometimes it's nice just to have something nice. You know what I mean? Something. So a few days there, we're going to go back and forth. I'm traveling to a few different cities too. So, we'll see. But anyway, so I get my flight booked and I get my hotel booked because those are going to be by far the most expensive things that I do. So might as well just like get it done with. And next step is building my Excel grid. So in my Excel grid, I have different tabs, and I'll have restaurant research, I'll have schedule, I'll have budget, and I'll have videos, like video ideas. And then like if I have to buy anything else, like what I might need. I think what I might need might be like a specific app I need for that city to get around, or hey, make sure to get the subway card there, or little things like that. So on the restaurant grid, it's a research grid. It's basically I'll go back into that folder that I have for the city and start there. What do I have saved? Restaurant name, what they're known for, any notes I might have, and then the Instagram link that I have, just so I could constantly reference it. Because some of these lists are like ends up being like hundreds of things long. I got to remember what these things are. And I start there, and then I start doing all the other research. YouTube videos, articles, Substacks, what TikToks, like whatever it is to get the information. I always ask you guys before I go to a city, hey, where should I go? So that's all the research. And then once I have all the research, I feel like I'm in a good place. Then it's time to start kind of building my schedule out. And what I'll do is start with restaurants that I know I need a reservation for and anything like, am I dying for this? So I will start there, see if I get a reservation. I'll go to the website first, see what they recommend. If there's like a reservation link, I'll click that. If I can't make it at all, whether it's booked up or something, maybe I shoot them a DM being like, hey, like, or sometimes a lot of times like I'm too far out. A lot of these restaurants have like weird rules about when you can book. So I'll DM them and be like, hey, like when am I able to make a reservation? When does it open up? Do you have any tips and tricks? I will see if my hotel has concierge, especially in foreign countries where I don't speak the native language. It's very helpful to have someone call the restaurants sometimes. And obviously I can't do that. So the concierge are usually so helpful. I'm like, hey, here's just like 3 restaurants trying to get a reservation at. Do you guys mind calling? Tremendously helpful. And then I start my schedule there. Where do I get reservations? Because those things I'm not going to be able to change. And then I start filling in terms of like just smaller ideas on like what I think I want to do. Oh, I know this restaurant's only open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and it's like a lunchtime place. Some is kind of slotted into the lunchtime places. And what I'll do is like green means confirmed, yellow means maybe, and well, those are the only options. And I start building my schedule that way. But I like keeping it pretty loose. Oh, also on my research, I have like activities I might want to do. So like, I like keeping it pretty open. I just never know what I'm going to be feeling that day. And I don't want to be like totally locked in to like, this is like every second is scheduled out. I kind of want to wake up and be like, well, what do I want to do today? I also have a hard time perceiving like where things are. And just, there's this just like mental block I have that I can't think about how to like literally map out a day until I'm there. I don't know, even like a place like Tokyo I've been to a million times and I can look at it on a map. There's something in me. I'm like, I can't figure this out until I'm there. So then what I do basically is when I get to the city, I wake up each day and just be like, okay, like what do I have on the calendar today? Okay, I have a 7 p.m. reservation here. That's really it. Okay, great. So now let me try and map out on terms of like activities I want to do, places I want to eat, things I want to see. What am I in the mood to eat? What can I kind of piece together today that makes sense? Okay, I got to work a little bit in the morning, so maybe I should get started at 9:30. Great, at 9:30, ooh, this place opens, I could go there first. Ooh, I'm actually close to there, and that's how I'll build my day each day, just kind of seeing like what I'm in the mood for. And going back to the conversation of like solo traveler, the thing that people don't understand is you think it's all fun, you just get to come eat food with me, and like I guess you would. It's sort of it is fun. That's not the bad side of it. But you also remember, like, while I'm there and I'm thinking about these things, I have to not only think about like what's a tasty meal, what do I want to eat? I have to think about like what's the video, what's the story. So like a good example is Paris. Paris has a lot of like just like your classic French menus, right? And I really had to be like, I could really only have one of those meals because if I do that Thursday night and then I'm going to do that Friday night, even though both are incredible restaurants, when I'm telling the story, what's the difference? You know what I mean? Like, what is the difference in the story if it's the same menu, just one is like a little bit different than the other? It's not going to make interesting videos when I think short videos and when I think long videos. It's like, what was the point of this? I'm trying to get like a full picture of that city. So like a good example in Japan is that. I mean, when you're in Japan, like you shouldn't just eat sushi. If you're going there just eating sushi, like you're doing it wrong, I promise you. But like as I'm planning for this week, like I only have one sushi omakase dinner planned. Because at the end of the day, like listen, sure, like some of them are different enough and you could always whatever, but like the story of that restaurant of one sushi omakase to the other is not going to be big enough to really like warrant why I'm at both. It doesn't mean I can't do both. It just means I really have to think about this. And I think to normal people, like that might sound crazy. Like, well, just go eat both dinners, 2 sushi omakase. That sounds incredible. But you have to remember, like, I'm spending a lot of money on these trips. I'm going there for a reason. I have to make sure I'm getting the content that I need to make sure that I'm paying off this trip. So some people might appreciate that if they're traveling with me. Some people might not. Some people might not appreciate the like, I'm there to work. I got to wake up every morning and work on the computer, edit, do the stuff I got to do. I can't just like fuck off for 2.5 weeks, you know? So I'm editing, I'm doing everything I'll be doing at home, just like condensed in a few hours. And then I'm out. Then I'm just out. I am out basically all day. I'm walking around for hours. Stop, stop, stop. Depends on the city, what type of places. I mean, like what's nice about Japan is like there's so many places that are just kind of like small bites, one item places that like I could really hit up a lot. Um, but I'm just eating a lot and exploring. And again, you might be sitting there being like, that sounds great. Yeah, and it is. This is what I love. It's not for everyone. I really, really push myself on these trips. I'm not fucking lounging around. I'm not sitting poolside. I'm not going to the beach. Not doing whatever. I am working. Again, I love it, but two, this is not a vacation, you know? It is work. And I find that like that is hard for someone to bring with you to, they're on vacation. And I don't want to ruin their vacation, but at the same time, like I'm there to work. So what inevitably happens is like the luck of my life is that because I do what I do and I live in New York, I almost always run into friends when I'm traveling too. I think that's what's nice too, is like when I'm in Tokyo, there are a couple friends that are going to be in Tokyo. It's actually really cool. Like that's kind of, it's really nice where I could be on my own, do my own thing, but hey, maybe this meal makes sense to have someone with me. Hey, let's get a drink. Hey, let's hang out. Like, because I do think it depends on the country that you're in, but I do think that like the hard part of solo traveling is going your whole day and then realizing like, I haven't really like, had a conversation with anyone all day. Because a lot of people like try and speak English and they do their best. And listen, I'm trying to learn Japanese, but that ain't happening. But people in Japan will try their best to speak English to me, but there's not really a full conversation. I think mentally sometimes that's a little hard. It's gotten better over the years, really just because of social media. I could kind of feel like, well, I was talking to people on the phone all day. I feel better about it. But back in the day, before social media, I would travel by myself and literally like just not talk to anyone all day. And after a few days, you come back to your hotel and be like, what the fuck, man? Like days of no conversation just feels really weird. But nowadays it's a little easier. You can be texting, you can be FaceTiming, you can be talking to your friends all day if you really feel like it. And again, getting back to the idea, like I'm just lucky enough that like, yeah, like I could find people to meet up with. Maybe there's an influencer in that city that like I wanted to meet. Oh, cool. Let's grab a bite. Let's do this. Let's do that. It's a really like special way to travel that like I have the privilege of being able to do that most people don't, which is really great. Um, and talked about this at the beginning, sort of like the privilege and safety thing. I think like any city, it's like again, I am able to think differently about this than none other people. But I think that like understand the city and you're in a foreign city, be a little bit more aware. Again, I'm going to Japan and Korea, which are like the safest places in the whole world. So like I have to worry a little less. But like any other city I travel to, my phone is always in my back pocket in New York City. When I travel, my phone's in my front pocket. Or if I'm going to be wearing a jacket, my phone will be like in my inside jacket pocket. I'm a little more aware. If I'm waiting for the subway in a foreign city, be like I'm aware in New York City, but I'm a little extra aware. When walking the streets, I'm a little extra aware. Like I just, if you're in a foreign place, no matter where you are, have your guard up a little bit more. And again, like, I think that's just like part of traveling. So I have my friend who was just in Brazil this week. She's this whole like Instagram thing, stories basically being like, everyone tried to scare me in Brazil and it was fine. And I was like, that's how I felt in Argentina. Everyone tried to scare me in Argentina. And he went there, I was like, this is fine. Again, I'm sure there's like neighborhoods in different places that are a little worse and better, like, but that's in every city. And again, I'm not saying go there and be like a fucking idiot, but you don't have to be scared of these places. I think just like be aware of your surroundings, be aware of everything. Um, I think, and I think that's the best advice. I mean, if you're not coming from a city, yeah, like definitely be extra, extra, extra aware. But if you're coming from a big city and you live in New York City, listen, I'm sure there are places I could travel to that are very dangerous. I've never been in a city where I felt in danger. I think I've been places where my guard's up a little bit more for sure. But like that's what it should be. Yeah, guard up a little bit extra. I don't know what these places are like. Even crossing the street, like in New York, I know the rhythm of like how people drive. So like, oh, if it's green, all right, I know how to cross the street. If I'm in another city, I don't know how these people drive. I'm not running across the street. I'm standing there at the curb waiting to cross. In Japan, definitely, because you do not cross in Japan. It could be 2 in the morning. There are no cars on the road, and the street could be 10 feet wide. People will wait at the curb until the sign changes to walk. It is just the way they do it. And it's not my favorite. It's one of the Japanese rules that I don't love in particular, but you just wait. So, I mean, be aware of that stuff too. Um, yeah, and then I guess that's it. It's just like I think also I'm very lucky where because I'm sitting there filming and I'm by myself and I'm a 6'4" white man, I think it's natural that I draw a little bit of attention. So it's actually like really, it's sometimes nice to go someplace by yourself because you're forced to go outside of your comfort zone. And you're forced to talk to locals, and like that's honestly how I learn the most. Sometimes is like, good example. I was in Dallas and I had on my research. I did everything we talked about that I did to plan this trip, and I go to the Japanese Santo shop, and I'm sitting there filming, and this dude's sitting like a couple tables over to me, and he's like, "Hey man, like, what are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, this Instagram. Like, I'm not that person. Like, I have 1 million followers." I'm just like, "Oh, I just make his videos, whatever." And he's like, "Oh," he's like, I own the restaurant." I was like, "Oh my god!" So we like start chatting. And he was so nice, and not only did I get to like understand more about the restaurant, more about the city, but then he was like, "Oh, dude, like, I got to tell you the real places to go eat." And that's such like a cool part about what I do, where it's like this is why I like how my schedule like not so locked in. It's like I never know who I'm going to meet. I never know who I'm going to run to. I never know what I'm going to discover. I feel like when you get there, there's so many more things to discover. Um, and if I was with someone, I don't think that like I would be as approachable as I am sitting by myself. And literally, it could be someone, yes, like sitting at the bar, someone next to me. "Oh, what are you doing?" Like it happened in Kyoto. In Kyoto, it's happened. Like I was sitting in my hotel lobby in Kyoto, just like sitting there working, and I forget if this girl recognized me or I mean, she might have recognized me, but either way, we just started like chit chatting. You're sitting there working, and it was like 6 in the morning at this thing, and she was like, "Oh, I'm from here, but I moved to wherever, and I'm back for a few days. Oh my god, you have to do this." And that's such like, and again, like I don't know if I would be able to even have that conversation if I was with a lot of friends because we're just like in our group talking or doing whatever. So I think there's ways to like master the solo travel trip, and I just think it's like just I think it's hard. I think it's hard to like ask your friends to spend a lot of money. I struggle with that. So if you're like waiting for a friend to go on this trip, don't wait. Just go do it. Just go do it. Do a short one. Like if you're someone that's nervous and scared about doing a solo travel trip, pick a short one. Do a weekend in a city and see how you feel. Because I think you'll be good. I think you really enjoy it. And sometimes and it depends on the trip too. I think like, I'm going to Seoul again by myself. Oh, and even though this is my third time there and second time I'll be there by myself, I do think Seoul is a better trip to have friends just because like all the eating and restaurants and everything set up for groups. I do think it's probably a better experience to be with a group of people, but it's certainly possible to do on your own. I had to spend a little bit extra money because I would go to these restaurants and be like, "I know this is Korean barbecue, but like I'm by myself and I'll just pay for it," kind of thing. And again, like that's the advantage I have because it's work and I'm there filming anyway and whatever. So I think it depends on location too. But for the most part, like if you're in a big city, I think you'll be fine for a few days. I think you'll be fine. I say just like here, the biggest rule is plan, have a plan, have a plan. Be extra aware, be cautious, have your guard up, don't be stupid, but also allow yourself to like not feel scared, I guess. And then yeah, just try and talk to people. Just grab a coffee, talk to the person you grabbed your coffee from. Talk to the, people where you checked in, talk to your concierge. Walk around, ask people questions. Like people aren't scary. I don't know. I generally like people are really excited. For the most part, I think people are excited that if you are in a big city, people are excited that you're there because they understand like what travel means in New York to that city. Like to be out in New York City here, like people stop me all the time for like directions. I'm never angry or mean about it. Like someone's here wanting to experience my city. I want them to have the best time possible. All right, I'll help you with directions. What else do you need? Oh, do you need this? Like whatever. I just think it's so critical and showing people the best sides of where you live. And I find that I get that when I travel too. People are just excited to show me the best side of their city. And I think that's really exciting. So if you guys have any more questions, definitely let me know. I think I tried to hit like everything you could be Worried about tips, tricks. Yeah, like, I mean, like, I don't really carry much cash on me in America. I carry a little bit extra. I don't carry any cash on me in America, frankly. I usually try and carry some cash on me when I travel just in case, but I'm a credit card boy, Apple Pay boy. Um, but again, like double check the restaurants, I guess, and the cities, every city's different. But like all that stuff, I'll try and have like on inner pockets or secret hidden stuff, my backpacks and pockets. Again, it's just about being smart, I guess, when you travel. But let yourself have fun, let yourself enjoy it. Let me know if you guys have any more questions about that. But before we go, let's get into what I'm into. I watched a few things. One, I watched The Day Trippers. I've been trying to get through all the Criterion Collection DVDs that I've bought over the years. I have a stack of them sitting on my coffee table, and I'm almost done getting through them. I'm sure I'm going to buy a lot more anyway. But Day Trippers is this independent film from 1997, an absolutely loaded cast. It's a really simple story. It's an independent film. I think he said the budget was like $50,000. Really hilarious. Leah Schreiber, Stanley Tucci, Hope Davis, Ann Mears in here, Parker Posey, just like us, star-studded cast. A lot of them, not Ann Mears, clearly, but a lot of them at the beginning of their careers, and just like a real indie film, like a very like. I loved this film, and I really loved how they made it. And it just like, it captures 1997 or 1996 in New York so well too. Really super highly recommend 1996. Highly recommend The Day Trippers. And then I've spent the past like 6 months watching the Drew Carey Show every single day on YouTube. So I forget if I talked about this, but we'll talk about it anyway because it just finished. So basically, Drew Carey Show was a huge show in the 90s, but it kind of fell out of the cultural narrative because it's really hard to rewatch because it's so much licensed music that no streamer wants to pick it up and no one wanted to put it on DVD. But this past year, someone finally did it. They got the rights. They stripped out a lot of the licensed music. There's even one episode that's totally gone. But they not only sold it on DVD for the first time, they put it on some streamer, I forget. But the biggest thing was that they released one episode a day on YouTube every single day. And it's become part of my routine. And there are 9 seasons of it. And every day for lunch, I sat there and I watched a Drew Carey Show for 6 months. And it's really interesting. It's a show that was like, when it started, it really was like revolutionary in terms of like what they did. They did dance numbers and weird stuff and live shows and episodes of like what you've missed, like really out there ideas, and really like set the tone for so many other shows that were to follow. And they got their, this is like the story of every comedy, like, or every sitcom. Like, they did 5 seasons. It was fantastic. And it's told they did 9 seasons, and the last 4 seasons were a little rough. The specifically last 2 seasons were rough. And I thought about this. And there's this thing, the narrative we have in TV, it's all this like, TV shows should just be 5 seasons and that's it. But I was thinking about this the other day, especially the way TV worked in the 90s, which is like, you would kill yourself to make these shows, right? You'd kill yourself to get these series to air. And you're making good money if you're on a network show in the 90s. But where you really start making money is when you get to syndication, which is after 100 episodes, usually get syndication, which takes 4.5 seasons, I guess, 5 seasons, 20 episodes, 4.5 seasons, whatever it is. 3.5 seasons. I can't do math. 4 seasons. Doesn't fucking matter. And then finally could cash in. And you know what? I thought about it and I was like, man, these people like really struggle to get their art out there. If they want to, I don't want to say coast, but if they want to like work so hard for 4 or 5 seasons and then be like, you know what? We deserve this money. And you're a little bit out of ideas, maybe, but you know what? Fuck it. Make your money. Do the 9 seasons of that show so like you're good the rest of your life. A lot of these people work good the rest of their lives just off syndication for the show. So anyway, revolutionary, really funny, change. The weirdest thing. So getting to season 9 on Drew Carey Show, I was reading all these things where the episodes were out of order. Because like I would just like, it was like this thing people talked about in the comment section of these videos were like season 9 out of order. And in my soul, and I was looking into it, was like, why is this season out of order? And they're basically like, ABC just wanted to burn the show. They didn't care. And I was like, fuck ABC. Even though even though the series went downhill for sure, like this show deserves to have the proper order to tell a real story and blah, 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 blah. And you watch and the season 9 is literally all over the place. One day she's pregnant. One day someone's dead. One day they're not. It's like how people watched it storyline wise would have made no sense. But I now realize why they did it. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of agree why they did it. So basically, I don't know why. I need to figure this out. But season 9 Drew Carey Show, they decided they were going to go from a 3-camera sitcom standard setup to like no live audience. And they weren't single cam, but they were basically like steady cam, closed, like the sets were closed, like very like the shot is if it was a single cam show, I guess, with a fake audience track. And let me tell you, this was so unbelievably bad. One, it's just a different show. Like they still sort of wrote it like it was a sitcom, but they shot it like it wasn't. And it's just fucking weird. And I think they were like, oh, the show needs a little juice. And this is already 2004. And like single cam comedies were becoming a thing. We got to make it more like that. Like I kind of understand why they wanted to do that. But let me tell you, it fucking sucked. It was so weird. The cameras were so shaky. They weren't in focus half the time. Like they decided to do a single cam show without knowing how to film a single cam show. And also because I don't know if it aired this way, but like for whatever reason, the way these episodes are, they're widescreen. You see cameramen everywhere. This wasn't supposed to be part of the show. I don't know if they just didn't know how to film it. Like it's insane. So basically the first half of the season, the way they shot it was all this like quote unquote single cam bullshit. And then the rest of the season went back to the standard 3-camera setup. But the episodes are all out of order because ABC, I guess, was basically like, this is my theory. This fucking sucks. We cannot air these episodes. No one's going to watch it. They're unwatchable. And I kind of agree. So they front loaded the season with like the normal shot episodes and then stuck in all these weird episodes in the middle that weren't that way, even though it makes no sense storyline wise, because they're like, God damn it, we got to get something out of the show. So very weird, but a classic. Now that every episode's on YouTube, you could just binge it. Highly, highly, highly recommend. And yeah, that's it. Drew Carey Show. I'm off to Japan and Korea. I will probably get one extra week of not having a podcast up, but we'll see. You never know. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Like and subscribe.